ladies and germs. Welcome to the 13th monthly rent party. We have been here for 13 months. That is one entire year. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Take a cry. You know, eat some cheese. Join us right here at the rent party. We're so excited to be with you. If you see a thing coming up in the corner of your screen, it says, do you want to be notified when Carsey goes live? Click yes. You do want to be notified. Look at us. How you wouldn't want to miss this. Nobody wants to miss this. Hi, gentlemen. Over there we have Joe Plum, and over there we have Pat Firth, and my name's Carsey Bland. And we're so excited to play you some tunes. Yeah! Oh. Yes. That's right. We're going to play you a couple of songs for every month of this pandemic. It's been a lot of months. You may have noticed it, or maybe you didn't notice it because you were in like sort of a trance state with your cheese and cuddling your dogs and crying and staying up all night and then other days getting up very early. It's all par for the course here in pandemic land. We're going to start by talking about last March of 2020. You may remember it. You probably do because shit was crazy. So we're going to do a couple songs about shit going crazy and feeling like the world is ending. Starting with a song called Twister. Well, it all went down when I heard him sing like whiskey, it was wild and warm. Heard the preacher preaching, the bells all rang, and then the rumble of a gathering storm. And when he took my hand, the wind blew strong. I said, put that down, back away slow. I've had about enough out of you now, mister. Well, I can't help you if you don't know. But if it ain't nailed down, we're gonna lose it in the twister. Turn tail, jump ship, hop on a train. You better run, boy, for you. I can hear it coming and we ain't even kissed. If it ain't nailed down, we're gonna lose it in the twister. Well, I'm not sure he heard a word I said, or really if I said it at all. 'Cause the next I know I was in his bed with a window and a clock on the wall. And the clock stopped ticking and the sky went black. I said, good goddamn, now what have we done? We tried to beat the devil but we couldn't resist her. We laid down when we should have turned and run. Now if it ain't nailed down, we're gonna lose it in twister. Turn tail, jump ship, hop on a train. You better run, boy, for you're in a world of pain. I can hear it coming and we ain't even kissed. If it ain't nailed down, we're gonna lose it in the twister. I had a home, now I got a hole in the ground. Had a man, now I got a man about town. So take it from the lady in the rubble and wreck. When you feel that feeling on the back of your neck, just turn tail, jump ship, hop on a train. You better run, girl, for you're in a world of pain. Can't beat the devil, so you got to resist. If it ain't nailed down, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna have to turn tail, jump ship, hop on a train. You better run, girl, for you in a world of pain. Can't beat the devil, so you got to resist. If it ain't nailed down, we're gonna lose it in the twister. Quack. Yes, people, yes. I thought that'd be a good way to open the show, because I don't know about you, but my feeling at the beginning of this pandemic back in March was just like, what the frick is happening right now? What is coming down the pike? It is not familiar, seems bad. We had a day where like every show that we had on the calendar got canceled or postponed, and we were calling each other like mad, like, I think we're not going on tour. I was about to fly to Joe's house to start a tour, and I ended up just flying to Joe's house to be like, all right, I guess I live at Joe's house now. And then I did.
I remember at the beginning, we were even like, oh, what is it? Come on, they're wusses. They're shutting down for a little flu.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
We were COVID deniers there for the first like 2 days, but
Yeah.
then we came to our senses. Yeah. What else do you remember about March? Anything? Pat was all
That's
alone in
it.
his apartment.
I then sat in my apartment for 2 months.
Yeah, and then Pat
And
was.
then it was June somehow.
Yeah, then it was June.
I would love for you guys to talk to each other about what you were doing in March. I'm going to try. This is like a retrospective show. So we're going to go through every month of the pandemic, try and remember what the heck we were doing and thinking and feeling, play you a couple songs about it. We'll tell you some stories, and I want you to tell each other some stories too. I don't read the comments while I play, but I always read them after. So if you want to tell me a story, rest assured I will actually read it. I want... Carol says toilet paper shortage. I'm glad you brought that up, Carol. This is another thing we just discovered. We can put the comments up on the screen so I can read some of them. I want to tell you guys something I learned about the toilet paper shortage. It was actually a myth that people were hoarding toilet paper. What really happened is everyone was in their houses instead of in their offices and universities and schools. And the kind of toilet paper they sell to consumers is like higher quality than the kind they use in companies and industrial places. So they literally ran out of consumer brand toilet paper. There just wasn't enough because everyone was at home and no one was out at the places that have the cheaper toilet paper. So that warmed my heart, because to me it was like an example of, it sounds like people are being crazy and stupid, but actually no, it was just another problem. People weren't actually being crazy and stupid, and that's not the reason that there was a toilet paper shortage. That warmed my heart. All right, John wants me to remember to say, start a watch party on Facebook so your friends can watch the show too. Here's how you do it. You go to your timeline. You create a new post. You click the 3 dots. You click Watch Party. Then you search for Rent Party number 13, Pandemiversary. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Luckily, I have a lot of songs about the end of the world, so this is a pretty easy set for us. This is a newer one. It's from our album Love and Rage, which comes out in 1 month. Comes out April 30th. 1, 2, 3... of glory. It's too late now to fix this mess. it felt like at the beginning. Like the world was exploding. You remember that? One thing specifically that made it really feel like the world was ending is that all of our gigs got canceled. And I don't know if you know this, but usually the way that musicians live and pay their rent and eat food and buy health insurance is that they play music and then people pay them for it. That's traditionally the way that it happened. You would go to a room, you would walk onto usually a raised area. People would sit down in chairs looking at you. You'd play songs, and then at the end of the night, somebody would hand you some cash. That was really cool. We miss it a lot. But since that doesn't happen this year, in this past year exactly, we have been doing these rent parties. This is our 13th rent party. So the way this all started is I was flying to Joe's house to start a tour. The tour got canceled. We were like, oh, shit. I was like, how are we going to live? I was like, how are these guys going to live specifically? Because these guys are professional full-time sidemen musicians. So they don't have a thing like, I have Patreon where people pay me to make songs. These guys don't have a thing like that. They play gigs to make money to pay rent. So we threw a rent party on March like 21st-ish of last year, 2020. And we made rent, and we paid these guys' rent. We had a little bit of extra money, and then we were like, let's do it again. So we've been doing it. This is our 13th time. So the reason we're here officially is to make rent money to pay Joe and Pat's rent, because we hope to do it all the way through the pandemic until gigs come back. And we do think they're going to come back. It seems like they might actually come back kind of soon, but they're not back yet. So if you're sitting at home and you're watching this and you like what you're hearing, you can donate to Joe and Pat's April rent. There's a list of ways to do it right down there. And if you're broke and you can't do it, that's fine too. Feel free to watch and enjoy and sing along at home. All right, there's some requests to turn up the volume, overall volume. Let me try it. See if this works. Is that louder? It seems louder. Is it louder in my ears?
A little bit.
Cool. All right. That seems okay. Good. Good. All right. I'm gonna try and burn through this all these months because there's a lot of them. So April, do you guys remember last April? April was like, for me, it was the time when it was really starting to hit me that like a lot of people were dying. And the way that it started to hit me first was that John Prine passed away of COVID. I think that was April 8th, I want to say, of 2020, that John Prine passed away. I was living at Joe's house. We didn't have any gigs. We were sitting around. We were like baking. We didn't have anything else to do besides that. And when we heard that John Prine died, we were all really sad and we cried a lot. And then we watched his videos of him on YouTube singing his songs all evening. And then I woke up the next morning after not sleeping very well because I was crying, and I wrote this song called Fishing With You. Hey John Prine, thanks for the tunes, they were sweet as peaches, crazy as loons. You were telling us how to be good to each other, smart ass, smiling, nameless lover. But it's rough down here since we got the news. Might take a miracle to cure these blues. Everybody been crying like a little girl in the whole wide, big old goofy world. But tonight heaven is a happier place. They were all sick of singing Amazing Grace, and now it's fish and whistle, lean on me. Everybody singing in harmony. Tonight in heaven it must be nice. They're all eating peaches in paradise. All of them angels lined up in a queue just to go fishing with you. Just to go fishing with you. Hey John Prine, one more thing. You're the one who made us all wanna sing. You made it look so easy and sound so fun. We'll sing a little sweeter now that you're all done. Please tell Petty we've been breaking down since. Merlin, Bowie, and Leonard and Prince. You got a pretty good band up there, I guess. We all wish you all the best. But tonight heaven is a happier place. They were all sick of singing Amazing Grace. Now it's fish and whistle, lean on me. Everybody singing in harmony. Tonight in heaven it must be nice. They're all eating peaches in paradise. All of them angels line up in a queue just to go fishing with you. Just to go fishing with you. Just to go fishing with Jesus and Petty and you. Mission with You, song for John Prine. I tried to fit a lot of other wonderful musicians that I think we were all grieving. Bill Withers passed away, like 5 days before John Prine or something? And that's how Lean On Me got in there. Lean On Me is maybe my #1 favorite song of all time. You really can't top it in any way. It's untoppable. But I grew up on John Prine, and I just have found his music to be very soothing and heartening at many times in my life. I probably wouldn't be a songwriter if he hadn't been a songwriter. But I felt like also John Prine kind of opened the floodgates for grieving for me. So one of the things that was happening in April is we were sitting around just being sad. We were just being really sad. I would love to know what you guys were doing in April. I bet there was a lot of sadness going on and a lot of baking, if I remember correctly. The other thing that happened to me in April is right after, so I wrote that song for John Prine and I posted it on the internet, and then a lot of people watched it, and then there was like a week of like, what's happening? People are talking to me on the internet. We did a rent party where like a lot more people were at the rent party, and it was like kind of a crazy thing. And then the day after that rent party, I woke up with a splitting toothache, and it turned out that I had to have all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed. So April was kind of an intense month.
I remember your face swelled up overnight.
Yeah.
Like twice its size.
Yeah, we also, we were just talking about this. Joe and Grace had gone to Korea previously in 2019, so they were really into Korean food. We were eating a lot of spicy food in the household at that point. So I remember, when it turned, and, we had some spicy food, and I was like, I don't think this is a good idea for me to be eating this. So then I had to, wait 3 weeks to be on steroids so I could get ready to get my wisdom teeth taken out, and then I got them taken out. It was kind of fun. I was on Happy Gas. That was a pretty good drug. And then what happened?
Did you do a rent party while you were convalescing from that?
No, it worked perfectly because I got the toothache the day after that rent party because I think it was a long one. We used to do a marathon, so they were 4 hours or 6 hours long.
It was after the March one, yeah?
Yeah. Well, no, it was after. Wait. Maybe it was the April one. So maybe it was a couple weeks after the John Prine song. I can't remember. It was definitely right after a rent party because I remember I sang all day and I was like, my face is starting to hurt from singing. That's weird. That doesn't usually happen.
That's a new one.
And then I woke up the next day and was like, oh. So, yeah, getting wisdom teeth out. It was fun. I want to do another song that's kind of related, I think, to the April part of the pandemic. One of the ideas I've been dealing with a lot in my songwriting, even before the pandemic, was that there's this feeling that the world is ending, and that we're all in this state of anxiety about okay, maybe the world's ending, maybe it isn't, maybe there's something I can do about it, maybe there's not. Should I panic? Should I be depressed? Should I party and be a hedonist because we're all going down and it's gonna end? And so I'm dealing with all those themes in my writing. I feel like the pandemic kind of accelerated all of those feelings. It did not do away with them. It did not solve them. It was just no, we were right. The world is really falling apart. So here's a nice, lovey song about the feeling that the world's falling apart. And also the feeling that you have to seize the day, etc., kind of milk your life for all it's worth, just in case it's even shorter than lives usually are. Sun is going down, so there ain't no way around it now. All our kisses are a sign, saying this'll be the last time. But if I had 1,000 years of kissing you, it might not be enough. Honey, don't turn out the light. Let me try tonight to give you all my love. Now the world is coming out, so there ain't no way around it now. All our body next to mine. Shit. Now the moon is coming out, so there ain't no way around it now. And your body touching mine, and your eyes are full of moonshine. And if I had 1,000 years to look at you, it might not be enough. Honey, don't turn out the light. Let me try tonight to give you all my love. All my love. All my love. So the world is burning down, and there ain't no turning round now, and nobody's keeping score. So you wonder what you fight for. But if we had 1,000 years to love this world, it might not be enough. Honey, don't give up the fight. Shine that little light. Give it all your love. Honey, don't give up the fight. Shine that little light. Give it all your love. Thank you. I forgot that song.
Ain't nobody here but us chickens.
Nobody's keeping score. From Gordon. Gordon says, "Fishing with you. First song I heard from you. I was crying like a little girl. 64-year-old man grieving for someone I never met, and you saved the day." Oh, what a sweetie, Gordon. I never met John Prine either. A lot of people have been like, "Oh, tell me about how you knew John Prine." Like, well, I listened to his albums a lot. So that's how I knew him. My mom and dad both played his songs while I was growing up too, so that's how I knew him. That's how I knew John Prine. Okay, I'm really, really excited. If you haven't done a watch party yet, you should do a watch party now, because we're going to do something unprecedented. We're about to do something. We're about to do a performance of something we've never performed before live, and that is a 3-minute musical that we wrote about the pandemic, and we wrote it back in April, and we released it back in May. It was written for the Adelaide Cabaret Festival. Everybody's got stories about stuff they were supposed to do in 2020 that they didn't get to do. Ours is we were supposed to go to Australia. We had booked a gig in Australia at a festival. We were so excited. We were all going to go to Australia. And then what happened? COVID happened. So the Australian festival was really cool, and they were like, instead of just canceling and saying, "Oh, well, good luck, musicians," they figured out a way to still put on the festival, put it on online, and they still got to pay all the musicians, which at the time especially was a really big deal. So instead of us doing a show, they were like, we're asking everyone to write a new piece about the pandemic. So the online festival was all these new original pieces about the pandemic. So ours, we wrote this all together, and it was kind of one of the first really fun group activities we got to do long distance, because Pat wasn't with us yet. And we called it In These Unprecedented Times. What's my key? We're gonna do it. We're doing it. Okay, putting it here. I'm putting it here.
We might do it a little slower. This might be more than 3 minutes.
I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 1.
In these unprecedented times where we wait for the world to resume, when everybody's locked at home and eating cheese, you could take a chance and dance all alone in your front room, in the nude of the worn out pants with the holes in the knees. Bake a layer cake, fry a couple steaks, and eat them all at once. Wash it all down with a bottle of wine, wear an evening gown to lunch. You could kill your man with a frying pan if he's acting like a dunce. Not a soul would know in these unprecedented times when everybody's going insane, 'cause everybody's locked up tight with the ones they love. You You could swear that the sounds of the kids on the stairs is a freight train, or the wrath of God raining down from up above. Give the dog a hug, macrame a rug. You could talk like Captain Kirk in a pair of Crocs with your woolen socks. You could finally learn to twerk. You could sleep till noon. You could play bassoon. You could start to go berserk, 'cause you miss all the work that you used to have when you used to have to work in these unprecedented times. Yeah, guys, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Okay, part two. I gotta tape this in a new spot. I'm sorry. It's just all different.
Cut to a scene on a rainy day in early April.
What's happening?
We're sitting on the couch covered in 18 layers of blankets.
I'm laying around, eating cheddar all alone. Television's blaring and I'm staring at my telephone. Laying around, pulling up the porn again. When the fun is over, that's the time I feel forlorn again. Stuck inside forever, thinking this could all be better if you could lay around with me. I'm laying around, checking on my bank account. Will I live to see it hit the pre-emergency amount? Laying around, thinking about the government. Wonder how the world will ever reach a full recoverment. Stuck inside forever, thinking this could all be better if you could lay around with me.
Lay around with me? No.
And now
I have to do some baking first.
And now our heroes find themselves in an optimistic mood in the kitchen.
I'm hungry. What do you want?
A cupcake!
A cupcake?
2, 3, 4. Eat every cupcake, make every snack, cook a lot of noodles till the world comes back. Fry a lot of butter, add a lot of cheese, eat as many cupcakes as you please. Do lots of puzzles, smoke lots of weed, give old Harry Potter one more read. Binge a lot of series, Friends and Game of Thrones. This is not a time for self-improvement or direction or regretting all the plans that got away. Eat a lot of cupcakes every day.
Yeah, gang.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
We got paid to do that.
we got paid to do that. That's the take home. People will pay. Wow. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Pat. Because, so in addition to the rent party, which you are at right now, and the purpose of this party is to make the rent that these guys have to pay every single month, gigs or no gigs. That's just how rent works. It's really weird. In order to pay the rent, we do these rent parties, but then also we do other things like release albums. And in order to release the album, right now, I'm also running a Kickstarter campaign. And additionally, the way that I pay my rent and pay my expenses every month is through this thing called Patreon. So I'm bringing all this up because there are actually 3 different forms of supporting us and me and my music. And I know that some of you do all 3 of those things. So we decided that here at the end of this Kickstarter campaign, because it has 3 days left, we're doing a thing called the Triple Love Raffle. So this is a raffle for anyone who gives to a rent party, a Patreon, and a Kickstarter, all 3 things. And I know some of you are out there because I've seen your names. If you're giving to all 3 of those things, you're entered in this raffle automatically. And the winner of this raffle gets their own original 3-minute musical. Just like the one we just did, only it's about you or a topic of your choice. So if you've given to a rent party and maybe you're on Patreon and you haven't given to the Kickstarter yet, go do that. If you've given to the Kickstarter and the Patreon, you haven't given to a rent party, send us a couple bucks. And all of you who give to all three will be entered in this raffle. And we're very excited because we actually really enjoyed composing that musical. So we were looking for
songs about cupcakes in the world.
yeah. There aren't enough songs about cupcakes or cheese.
It turns out we all love cheesy show tunes.
Yeah.
Hey! Oh. Very cheesy. So with that, okay, we're gonna move on. This song is just one that I wrote in May. So I thought I would play it here in the May section of this rent party.
We're up to May already.
It's gonna be May.
Gonna be May.
One of the things I was thinking a lot about in the beginning of the pandemic is like, wow, everybody's at home not having to work right now. That's really crazy. I wonder what'll happen. I wonder if it'll be like everybody starts shooting each other and burning down buildings and stuff. And that wasn't really what happened. What happened is everyone started a mutual aid organization so that they could help the people in their neighborhood deal with COVID and have food and stuff like that. Everybody was volunteering. Everybody was baking bread and giving it to their neighbors. It was actually a very sweet time, not to mention all the healthcare workers who were just in a war zone and have been most of this year. And I loved back in May, we were still doing the banging on pots and pans thing at 7 p.m. for the healthcare workers. So in a way, it was a very heartwarming time. Like, I feel like it revealed something about human society that I found very sweet. So that's part of what inspired the song. 1, 2. Jesus Christ was a handsome man. He had nothing to hide. He said, give bread to the hungry, bring the homeless inside. Jesus Christ was a dangerous man. That's the way that he died, saying, be good to the people you love. Love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love. Love everybody alive. Dr. King was a preacher. He had God on his side. He said, all God's children are brothers. Don't cast your brother aside. Dr. King was a dangerous man. That's the way that he died, saying, be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. There ain't nothing more criminal That's right. Oh, and we sure do love you, and we thank you for all of the ways that you support this music that we make, including just listening to it. That warms my heart the most of all. I also really love these guys. I'm just going to take a moment to talk about why I love my band and why we've been doing these rent parties all year, instead of me being like, you know what, fuck you guys, we don't have gigs, so I'll see you in a year when we have gigs again. These guys have been in my band for a long time. Joe for 11 years, 11 and a half. Pat for 6.5 years. And we've just seen it all. We've seen it all together. It's been the best of times, it's been the worst of times, and we have grown quite close. I find them to be just incredible musicians, as you can hear with your own ears. I feel very lucky to be able to play music with these guys every time that I am able to. So that is why we're here today.
We feel the same, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Also, we just have a good time, and that's maybe the best part of all.
It's very fun for us knowing that you are all out there every month watching.
It's nice. It's really nice, because we can think about how we should prepare a thing for the rent party, and then we know that someone will hear it.
Oh, you know that guy in Milwaukee? I can't wait till we can see him.
Yeah, he's been asking for the In These Unprecedented Times musical, and now we're gonna play it. Tell him, hey, tell him I said what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of hanging out with not random people, but people in random parts of the world. And now we don't anymore, so it feels good to get to hang out with you guys randomly here on the internet. All right. So moving on to June, what were you guys doing in June? I know, so June is when George Floyd was killed, and then what erupted was an international protest movement that was the biggest one ever so far. The most people have participated in that, the BLM movement of last summer. More people than have participated in any international civil rights movement, apparently. So that is heartening, but the actual time was terrifying and very sad. So we're going to do some songs about rage and rallying, which are two things we did a lot of back in June. Starting with the song American Kid. 1, 2, 3. I was once an American kid, growing up on hollow ground. Rode to the river on a pretty red horse in a pretty little country town. But I grew up fast and I cast my vote for the president. And I had my doubts, but I still had hope till I read the finer print. Don't look now, but it won't be long. They're gonna wonder what we did, and we'll have to admit that we done them wrong. God help the American kid. Oh, God help the American kid. Well, I read the news and the papers too, and I see 'em on the TV screen. Maybe they know not what they do, but I wish they'd say what they mean. We stole this nation fair and square, and a whole lot of people in chains, but it was all for the glory of God, I swear, and the glory of capital gains. Don't look now, but it won't be long. They're gonna wonder what we did, and we'll have to admit that we done them wrong. God help the American kid. Oh, God help the American kid. And all the little kids all around the world. Some have and others don't. But God loves all the boys and girls. God knows America won't. I hear them holler in my head. Can you hear that lonesome sound? Well, it may be true that we made our bed, but I ain't taking it lying down. Don't look now, but it won't be long. They're gonna wonder what we did, and we'll have to admit that we done them wrong. God help the American kid. Oh, God help the American kid. God help the American kid. Whew. Still true. Just keep playing it till it's not true anymore. Hopefully that'll be soon. All right. So then into the rallying portion of this.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
June was weird. That was a
Yeah.
crazy time.
Tell them about it. Preach, Joe.
The riots and the marches were just super wild, and that is exactly when we were building this room. So this was just a square piece of concrete filled with mosquitoes and spiders in our backyard, and we would come back from that just listening to the radio, or I guess we were listening to a couple books on tape about the matter.
That's right. How to be an anti-racist
Right.
and the new Jim Crow. We were listening to while we were working on the shed.
We were all sorts of freaked out, and that was when, if anyone here lives in America, the summer was full of like fireworks at night too.
Yeah.
There was shit tons of fireworks
forgot about that.
everywhere.
And
They're
it-
still doing the fireworks in New York.
Man.
Yeah, they're not
That's really
done.
stopped.
Yeah. So we were like going out in the day, protesting in the streets, people getting tear gassed, everybody yelling, crazy stuff happening. Then we would come home, eat a pint of ice cream, work on the shed,
Drywall.
and while we're drywalling, there was like fireworks happening, and we're like, is it a war? Is this war? Are we in a war now? Or
It was
is
a
it?
new thing.
Yeah, and then there were like all these Twitter conspiracies about how the cops were setting off the fireworks, which
Probably not true.
is probably not true. I feel like that's been our attitude since then, is like, okay, some of this might not be true, but also some of it clearly is because
Maybe
it's
it
on
is.
video. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was a really, really creepy time. Yeah, and also I was just really angry. I was just really mad. I think a lot of people were really mad. Wow, we're hearing some crazy stuff happening in June. Throat cancer treatment, but I did not miss the rent party.
Wow.
Oh, Richard. Gosh.
Yeah,
Now
Richard.
cancer-free.
Hey!
Hey!
Good on ya.
That's awesome. And Sean said that she was protesting in Seattle. I'm sure a lot of people were protesting. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing to underline in June. A lot of people were protesting. I want to do an older song too now called So Ferocious. And then we'll get into the song Down in the Streets, which I wrote during the summer protest of 2020. This song's a little bit older, and it's come in handy for me because I often do actually sing it in my head if I'm like, I need to work up a real, because sometimes it helps. Sometimes it makes you feel better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walking through the city feeling so ferocious, I could take anyone. You ain't gonna see me run from you, no way, no way. Everything you said to me was so atrocious, you ought to take it back. If I had a punch to pack, I'd make you pay. You pay. I guess your mama didn't raise you right, and you wanna take it out on me. You're just a bully looking for a fight, but you didn't know that I could be so ferocious. So ferocious. You wake up every morning feeling so malicious, mouth full of sour grapes. When you see your smiling face, it makes you mad, so mad. Everything I ever do is so delicious, I ought to cut a before long you'll see that ain't no way to live. 'Cause the stuff that makes you strong ain't what you take, it's what you give. I guess your mama didn't raise you right, and you wanna take it out on me. You're just a bully looking for a fight, but you didn't know that I could be so ferocious, so ferocious, so ferocious. That's right. That's right. That's how he is. So yeah. What was I thinking about? I was thinking of another thing I should talk about. Oh God, but I don't know what it was. Oh, very, very deeply unrelated to So Ferocious, but my mind wandered for a brief moment, and I remember like, oh, I got to talk about these shoes. I bought some shoes that I think are really cool, and you'd think I would just wear them, but the thing is, we don't really wear shoes on shows anymore. So check out these incredible boots. Pow bang, and then look at the bottom. Stars on the heels. And it just brought me to wanting to tell you guys that we haven't actually worn shoes on a rent party.
Most days I don't wear pants.
We often don't wear bottoms. It's been a pretty pantsless year. But we almost never are going to wear dress shoes. I don't know if we even will when we go back touring, but we do wear cute socks.
Yeah.
Banana socks. They're cute. So we're still dressed up. So I just wanted you to feel comfortable knowing that we are dressed up. All right. So we're raising money for rent. We're up to $960. We're trying to get to $32.50. How do we arrive at that amount, you might wonder? That amount is literally how much it costs to pay rent for these two households, the household of Joe, the household of Pat Firth. Pat lives in New York, Joe lives in Philly. And we just want to keep a roof over these kids' heads. Look at these faces. Can you say no to these faces? All right. All right, one more protest song for June. So we were going to these protests. Shit was kind of crazy anyway. But then we went to this one, and it was actually the June 1st protest, so it was pretty early in the protesting month, year. And we went to this protest, and it was peaceful. There were about 5,000-ish people there. We were marching through Philly. Some of the people went onto the highway, 676 in Philly, to do like a peaceful take of the highway kind of thing. There's a thing that happens a lot in protesting. It happened in the civil rights movement. It happens in most of the movements that have worked. So I don't want to hear that doesn't work and it's not peaceful, because that is inaccurate. So some people peacefully went onto the highway. They stopped traffic and they were sitting. And it was a big, hey, Black Lives Matter, everybody pay attention. And then what happened is that these cops and also military people, National Guard, showed up and started setting off flash bangs and then tear gassing people. And people were kind of kettled on the highway. They were put in this little area where there was fencing and they couldn't get out. So a lot of people were stuck down there and just getting tear gassed right in the face. A lot of people were getting arrested. My little brother got arrested. That was very scary because he got put into an unmarked van and whisked away. So anyway, it was a really crazy experience and upsetting. And my brother was okay. Everybody was okay. They got didn't press charges for most of the people they arrested. They just let them go. The really crazy part, though, was the update, which happened about a month later when the New York Times did an expose about that protest in Philly, where they like took all the camera footage from all the phones and put it together and made a little infographic. And they were like, as you can see here, the city of Philadelphia has lied repeatedly about what happened at this protest. What actually happened is a bunch of people were protesting peacefully, and then they got tear gassed in the face and shot with rubber bullets and arrested. So now there's all these lawsuits going on, and I think the city's going to have to pay out big time, which is good, because I think that you shouldn't be able to violently attack your own people when they're doing peaceful protest, which is protected in the First Amendment. So, with that, here's the song I wrote about it. Mama, it's a disaster, going faster and faster, and all of my heroes turning out to be bastards. Ain't no peace to be found in this company town. singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. For all our friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight, where they call it a riot, 'cause we ain't keeping quiet. But if you've been listening, we know you don't buy it. And they say we've been stealing, but who's the real villain? When we can't even make a living, now they're making a killing. So all my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. For all our friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. They can lock us up and they can knock us down, but we're the ones who run this town. We're gonna shout it out until we make them face. We're the ones who own this place. They can lock us up and they can knock us down. We're the ones who run this town. We're gonna shout it out until we make them face. We're the ones who own this place. So all my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. For all our friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. Down in the streets tonight. Down in the streets tonight. That's right. John says, please share this with your friends on Facebook if they need some love or rage. Which is a good point. I talk about rage and love in that song. I feel like this has been a big year of rage and love, for me at least, and I think for a lot of people. A lot of both. A lot of grief, too. Those are the big three. And so the new album's called Love and Rage. It comes out in April. There's currently a Kickstarter campaign to fund it. We already met the goal, which is awesome. And I want to mention again, if you give to the Rent Party, which is where you are right now, the Kickstarter, and also the Patreon, those are the big three. There's a triple love raffle. Anybody who gives any amount to those three things is entered in a raffle. If you win it, we will write you a musical. Your very own musical. How many people have a musical written about them? Okay? Not that many. Hamilton, okay. Alexander Hamilton has one. Evita.
Aida.
And now you.
The Lion King.
The Lion King.
Yeah, that guy really hit it big for a lion. You know, they don't usually do that well.
Not just any lion.
Good. Love it. Very good. Okay, we're going to now we're entering July. We're entering July. July was a little bit more fun in terms of, I feel like we settled into the pandemic and we were like, okay, this is just life. Now I live at Joe's house. The shed was almost done by then. And we were getting in a really good groove with baking food. Pat had joined our pod finally.
Finally.
So we were like making really good food, hanging out with Pat. And we were like, okay, well, the world ended, but at least we're all hanging out.
Hey, Pat, don't take so long to join our pod next pandemic.
Yeah, I'll think about that. Next time we have a pandemic, I'll come down a couple weeks earlier.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
All right.
All right, so we're going to do some summer songs, starting with a song called Hot Night, which is a co-write. Me and Joe wrote it together. Oh, I have to do a thing really quick. Start going, guys. You got this. It's a hot night and I don't feel like sleeping. I got too much commotion running round my second sight. See the meaning of everything with the fever of the free and breezy in the summertime. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. You got to steal it. Ain't nobody gonna live it for you. You better feel it now. It's a hot night. Hear the dogs in the distance. Hear the men coming down the street, picking up the trash, and it sounds like a fist fight, like a squalid existence. But they're singing in the dawning day like nobody asked. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. You got to steal it. Ain't nobody gonna live it for you. You better feel it now. It's a hot night and I don't feel like sleeping. Lying next to my lover and I can hear his dreams. I feel like rising bread, like a hot house flower, like I'm drunk on whiskey sour down the street in New Orleans. It's a hot night, lying next to my lover, and there's nowhere tomorrow that I need to get. So I say, not quite. Don't take this night away from me. I don't feel like sleeping. I said I don't feel like sleeping. I said I don't feel like sleeping yet. Absolutely. Thank you guys. I hope that you're commenting about stuff that you were doing in July. I'm a little jealous I don't get to hear about it. John, if you see any good comments, send them our way. Oh, Rose said, all they need is rent. Yap-ba-da-ba-da. All they need is rent. Do you guys know any songs like that?
What key is that in?
In real life?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know, nobody knows, Joe.
Ah. All you need is rent.
All you need is rent.
There's no
There's
way
nothing you can pay that can't be rent.
There's no way you can live that isn't rent. There's nothing you can have you don't have to pay for. It's not as catchy. It's not as catchy.
How to
It's
pay
not
the
as
rent.
catchy, but I liked it, Rose. Thank you. Okay, the gray-haired are starting a revolution. Good. We welcome red-haired. Good, good, good. Can these guys come too?
Honorary member.
Honorary egghead member.
Oh, you should play some of the footage of bringing in Pat remote from the first rent party just to show how you've honed your live stream production skills.
Oh.
Thomas, I'm really glad you brought that up, actually,
Good
because...
memory.
Pop quiz. What was the animal that Patrick Firth was portrayed as in the March
For the
2020?
first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
of the March
Before it was
2020 live
banned.
stream. That's a great question. I hope that someone's answering. We'll wait.
I'll wait.
Yeah, our very first live stream, we used our laptop camera just like balanced on a table down here. So we looked crazy. I think we were using like a USB mic too. We didn't have any of the
Nope,
stuff.
not cat.
It wasn't a cat. It was a giraffe.
Yeah.
Hey.
He showed
But
up as
Pat
Cat
loves cats,
Firth
too.
for the Halloween rent party.
Yeah.
So, trick question.
Uh,
So yeah, the first one, it's like we didn't have any gear. We did a 6-hour marathon rent party also on that first time. We were like, we're gonna have to play for 6 hours if we want to make enough money for rent. And then later we were like, I guess playing for 6
long
hours
time.
doesn't make them like us more. Yeah, we also took requests. Oh, Abby says in July my divorce was finalized. Free at last. More celebrating. Congratulations, Abby. Yeah, the first one was crazy. Pat wasn't in our pod, so he FaceTimed in to the rent party, and he played, I believe, a couple of songs. You played.
I'm sure I played.
Yeah.
Or something.
You probably played that. You probably played Benny and the Jets.
Hey kids. Take this together. Why don't you?
Yeah.
I think all you need is love is an E. I don't know.
Sure.
We're glad. I'm sure everyone's been thinking about this the whole time.
Yeah, that's all I've
Not
been thinking
just
about
Joe.
since we started talking about it.
Allison ran every day of the pandemic and is still running daily.
Wow.
Whoa.
All right.
Ours was much more of a roller coaster with both food and fitness. We've gone through phases of eating only cheese and baked goods, and then we've gone through other phases where we're like, okay, green juice only, run every day. There was no hot mic yet. That's right, hot mic. This is hot mic. In fact, I'm gonna get to hot mic right now. I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you.
All you need is rent. All you need is rent. All you need is rent. Rent.
Rent is all they need. Rent is all they need.
Rent is all you need. That's not an E. No, I was wrong. It's not an E.
Might be an F.
Okay, guys, we're moving on.
Okay.
Oh, fine.
All right, we got a couple more summertime songs for you. This one is from the new record Love and Rage, but it has a summertime vibe. In fact, it's also a co-write with Joe. I feel like our summertime co-writes, our co-writes are all summertime vibes because we like
Vice
hanging
versa.
out. Yeah. Oh. All right, we're on Hot Mic and we're gonna do Suffering Fools. Does everybody remember this song?
Sure.
Yes.
Do I remember this song?
We will.
Whew.
We about to find out. Did you do it just for a laugh? Breaking my poor heart in half. Honey, 'cause now I'm shaking. Love's been making a fool of me. Did you do it just for fun? Telling me that I'm the one. Honey, if you weren't faking, love's been making a fool of you too. 'Cause we know the score, but we want it even more. Oh, why have I gotta fall so far when I know he's gonna break my heart? Mama, why am I always suffering fools? Tell me why we had to fall so fast when we know it isn't meant to last. Honey, we're just a couple of suffering fools. Couple of suffering fools. Knowing it was just one night, why did it have to feel so right? Honey, why am I crying? Love's been lying to both of us. Knowing that I had to go, why'd you have to kiss me slow? Well, if I ain't mistaken, love's been making a fool of us both. 'Cause we know the score, and we want it even more. Oh, why have I gotta fall so far when I know he's gonna break my heart? Mama, why am I always suffering fools? Tell me why we had to fall so fast when we know it isn't meant to last. Honey, we're just a couple of suffering fools. Couple of suffering fools. Couple of suffering fools. Couple of suffering fools. Tell me why we had to fall so far when we know it's gonna break my heart. Mama, why am I always suffering fools? Tell me why we had to fall so fast when we know it isn't meant to last. Honey, we're just a couple of suffering fools. Couple of suffering fools. Yeah.
Do we remember this?
Yeah. Indeed.
We remember the heck out of that. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Let's do Sleepy People. You grab the big boy?
Yes.
Grab that big boy. Nice, folks. Money coming in for rent. We thank you and we thank you and we thank you. I also want to say, I know a lot of people have given to the Kickstarter already this month, and so if you gave to one, you're not going to give to the other. I just want to make it clear that I'm not mad. I am never mad. I ask for all of this money all the time because that's how much it costs to make all this music and make sure everybody is fed and housed. But also, like, yeah, it's all fine. We're all fine. Oh, that was me.
That was not.
We're all fine, and we all genuinely do just want to be playing music for you, and that's our number one goal in life. So, dream already achieved, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Thank you for coming to the rent parties. Thank you for ordering the album. Thank you for being a patron on Patreon. Thank you for all of it. 100 times. 100 million times. All right. I thought this would be a fun one to do because it talks about being stuck in your house with your loved one, but having it be kind of cute and, like, eating food together and sitting on the couch. And I felt like that was very mid-pandemic. Around last summer, there was a lot of sitting on your couch with your loved ones, watching shows, playing video games, eating sweets, stuff like that. And a lot of it's in this song, which I did not write. It was written by Hoagie Carmichael. It's called Two Sleepy People. 1, 2, 3. Here we are, out of cigarettes, holding hands and yawning. Look how late it gets. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light. Too much in love to say goodnight. Here we are, in the cozy chair, picking on a wishbone from the Frigidaire. Two sleepy people with nothing to say. Too much in love to fade away. Do you remember the nights we used to linger in the hall? Daddy didn't like you at all. Do you remember the reason why we married in the fall? To rent a little nest and get a bit of rest. Here we are, just about the same. Foggy little fellow, drowsy little dame. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light. Too much in love to say goodnight. Cat Firth. Joe Plowman. Do you remember the nights we used to linger in the hall? Daddy didn't like you at all. Do you remember the reason why we married in the fall? To rent a little nest and get a little rest. Here we are, we're just about the same. Foggy little fellow, drowsy little dame. Two sleepy people by dawn's early light.
2, 3, 4.
Too much in love to say goodnight. Good night. Yeah. Yeah, folks. Yo. Okay. Cat Firth, of course, is Pat's animal name. Joe, what's your animal name? Why don't we have one for you?
Can someone
Beef.
make an animal name for me out there?
Somebody make Joe an alternate name, his animal alter ego. I guess I don't have one either, but... Oof, just playing with microphones. All right. Okay. We're about halfway there, making rent, taking names. Thank you, everybody. let's see. We are gonna do Jacket. Alright. You got the right bass and everything. So, as the pandemic rolled on, I at least got very nostalgic for things that used to seem really normal, like driving. I was like, man, remember driving down highways? That was so fun. The other thing I got really nostalgic for was flirting. I didn't realize until the pandemic how much of my life was built around how much I enjoy flirting. That's why I do this job. So there hasn't been a lot of flirting in the pandemic. Luckily, I have a lot of songs about flirting and cute boys and crushes and stuff like that, so I'm going to do one now. This one's even more specific. This is about masturbation. It's also about driving, so covers a lot of pandemic bases. Yeah. So while we play this song, Jacket, I hope you guys will also talk about stuff that you started missing. What you were doing in August, and also things that you missed from the before times, which are probably coming back. Like, there's going to be things again. Took a good long drive down the NJ Pike, thinking why you gotta be the type of boy I like. Why you act so dumb, all the books you read. You got a body like that, but you're living in your head. I make a quick pit stop at the Molly pitcher. You say you got a girl, but I don't see you with you. You say you want a drink, but I want something stiffer. You say I oughta keep it clean, I ain't a Swiffer. I like your shirt, I like your jacket. Like to think about you when I whack it. It doesn't hurt, ain't nothing to it. Call me when you had enough of thinking, honey, let's do it. Ooh. When we met last week in the elevator, said I gotta feed a meter, but I'm gonna see you later. In the bar you were chewing on a swizzle stick. I said you look so good, you're about to make me sick. We tried to take a walk, but it was too much. You only wanna talk, you know I'm on the one to touch. We tried to have a chat, but it was too scary. You're just a Democrat, I'm a revolutionary. I like your shirt, I like your jacket. Like to think about you when I whack it. It doesn't hurt, ain't nothing to it. Call me when you had enough of thinking, honey, let's.
I like your shirt, I like your jacket.
I like to think about you when I, woo.
I like your shirt, I like your jacket.
You when I, woo.
I like your shirt,
I like your jacket. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I got this microphone all in a weird position. I'm glad we made it through that song. Glad that's not a hard song to play on the guitar. It could have gone very wrong. All right. Oh, I know. So here's the other thing that happened in August is I officially moved away from New Orleans. So I had been living in New Orleans for 8 years. And these guys were up here, and I was down there, and we would meet and go tour places. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, if I'm that far from my band for that long, I will probably go insane. So I was like, all right, I got to get up to Philly. So first I moved in with Joe, and then eventually I just moved into a house in the Philly area. So August is when I drove back down to New Orleans to get all my stuff and my husband and my dogs so we could bring them all up here. And I really love New Orleans, and I do miss it still. And also it was time to go. I wrote this song about a year before I moved, and I think it was kind of a harbinger. All of my feelings about New Orleans are in this song, so I don't have to say anymore. New Orleans is crazy. There Black and greasy be thy heart, hallowed be thy name, hallowed be thy name. And she just the sweetest thing you've seen. So long, New Orleans. So long, New Orleans. There ain't nowhere better. There ain't nowhere worse. When you think she's blessing you, you're bound to get her curse. She'll feed you at her table, she'll show you to her room. But are you rocking in her cradle or rotting in her tomb? Rotting in her tomb. And she just the sweetest thing you've seen. So long, New Orleans. So long, New Orleans. New Orleans is tragic. There's nothing she won't lose. If she ain't taking water, she's giving us the blues. From the mouth of the Mississippi to the banks of Pontchartrain, black and greasy be thy heart, hallowed be thy name, hallowed be thy name. Ooh, pretty. Oh yeah. So long, New Orleans. So that song is on the Love and Rage album. I want to take a minute and talk about it because that we're entering the period where the Love and Rage album kind of took over our lives. So I had written a lot of the songs from this album back in 2019, before this phase of the world ending began. And but I had only written maybe half of them, and our plan was to go into the studio in summer of 2020 and make an album. Then the pandemic hit, and I was like, wow, somehow we have to finish writing an album and then make it in this pandemic. So Joe and I did some co-writing. I did some co-writing up in Joe's house. I mean, some co-writing with myself. I co-wrote a lot with myself and then some with Joe. Excuse me. So we were writing, and then the other thing we did early in the pandemic, like starting in May, is we tried to build a recording studio in Joe's house. So we were building this room out here to become like a shed, like a hangout space instead of a garage. And at the same time, we were building a recording studio in the upstairs of Joe's house. So we were ordering gear online, we were putting stuff together. And then we had our producer, Tyler Chester, who produced the Love and Rage album. He was Zooming with us like every day, trying to tell us what we needed and how to build a studio and where to put mics and stuff like that. So we were recording through that whole last summer. But a lot of it just wasn't quite working because we don't know how to do recording engineer stuff as much as people who own studios and run them. Pat actually does know how to do all that stuff, so let it be known. The main problem was that Pat wasn't in our pod yet when we started. So anyway, we recorded some stuff, but then by August we were like, I don't know, are we really going to do this, or should we drive across country and go to LA and finish the album with Tyler? So that's what we did. We drove across country, we camped at KOA's, and we went to LA and stayed there for a week, and we stayed podded, and we added Tyler to our pod, doing various safety measures to make that happen. So then we finished the album in person in Los Angeles. But what's kind of interesting and cool is that a lot of the tracks are still long distance. So Tyler was he was producing us live, but then we were also still getting tracks from other people in their own quarantine. So that last song, So Long New Orleans, has a drummer on it whose name is Jay Belleros. who's really, really, really special. That's where I was going with that. Very excited about how the album turned out. It's like a cool amalgam of live and socially distanced. Okay, so I'm hearing that we've raised $21.50 of $32.50, which means that our matching grant has been activated. There's a $500 matching grant, which means that the next 500 and something. Oh, actually, look at that, updated. It's exactly $1,000 off. So the next 500 will be matched, and that is all we need to make rent again. La la! 1 full year of paying the band's rent without a single in real life gig. So that's really something to be proud of. You guys should really be proud of yourselves. We're certainly very proud of you.
Thank you. We love you.
We love you. We love you. We love you. Cool. Let's play some more songs, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna do a few from the Love and Rage album. If you haven't heard, there's a Kickstarter going on. It has 3 days left. You can pre-order the album on the Kickstarter. You go to that link that's right above the Facebook and the YouTube, and that takes you to everything. So if you want a copy of Love and Rage on CD or on vinyl, it will be out in a month and 3 days, and we will send it straight to your house, and then you can listen to it. That's the whole idea. So let's do Ain't No Sin. 2, 3, 4. Well, my mama said that I ought to be committed, and my daddy said that I ought to go to church, and the preacher said that I ought to be repentant to the day they lay me down in the dirt. So when I go and I get to heaven, well, I know that I'm gonna get in, 'cause I'm just the way that the good Lord made me. And it might be crazy, but it ain't no sin. No, it ain't no sin. Well, maybe I lay with the wrong kind of lover, got an aching heart and a worrying mind, and I ain't obeyed my father and mother, but I tell the truth and I try to be kind. So when I go and I get to heaven, well, I know that I'm gonna get in, 'cause I'm just the way that the good Lord made me. And it might be crazy, but it ain't no sin. Oh, it ain't no sin. Hallelujah. How sweet the sound. I was lost, now I'm found. When I go and I get to heaven, well, I know that I'm gonna get in, 'cause I'm just the way that the good Lord made me. Yeah, and it might be crazy, but it ain't no sin. No, it ain't no sin. It ain't no sin. No, it ain't no sin. Thank you. That was Ain't No Sin, another co-write with Joe. And that is on the Love and Rage album, which comes out next month. If you want to pre-order it, you can pre-order it at the Kickstarter. If you do the Kickstarter and the Rent Party and the Patreon, you can do like $1 or $2 or whatever on each one. Then you're entered in a raffle, and we might write you a musical. I just think it's really cool. I wish someone would write me a musical. I guess we should do that. All right, we're gonna do another from the album.
That one?
Is it that one? Okay, I'm gonna come back there. We do Can't Wait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Finally.
wait.
I can't wait to do Can't Wait. Whoop. Yeah. Oh man, I wanted to mention too. So the record was cool. We were on all the tracks as this trio of a band that we are, and what we don't have in this band is a drummer. So the upside of that is we got to work with a bunch of really great drummers on this record. So on
Really great.
Yeah.
really great.
Really great
So
one.
on the song Ain't No Sin, we got to play live but isolated with a guy called Griffin Goldsmith, who's in the band Dawes. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
Really good
Yeah,
drummer.
really good
Really
job.
good job.
good.
Really good.
Oh, you're really good. That's what I said when I said, "Oh, you're really good."
Oh, he's really good.
Griff.
Conversation was a little limited, but we just kept telling
We're
you
just
it
like,
was
wow,
really good.
you're really good.
He's like, okay.
That's what we do whenever we meet people that are really good. We're
Yeah,
just,
some
oh,
tough
you're
listen.
that guy who's really good.
Especially in a
Oh.
pandemic year.
Yeah. Anyway, he played on the last one. He played on this next one too, on this record.
That's right.
Hit it, Plow.
Take it, me.
Take it, Beef Boy. Joe Beef on the bass.
Beef boy.
Beef, 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 beef. Back at that bar on Juliet. Back when I hadn't met you yet. I saw you flick that cigarette. I knew what you were gonna get. You got the devil in your smile. I saw that swagger from a mile. You've had it coming for a while. I could give it to you. I'll get it too. 'Cause I can't wait to break your heart. Can't wait to break your heart. How it feels when it falls apart. Oh honey, I can't wait to break your heart. You thought that love was something small. Frame it and hang it on the wall. Oh, how you love to watch them fall, laughing as they go down. Who's laughing now? That I can't wait to break your heart. Can't wait to break your heart. How it feels when it falls apart. Oh honey, I can't wait to break your heart.
This one's called the mashed banana.
Baby mashed banana, baby mashed banana, baby mashed banana, baby mashed banana. Oh, love can be so cruel. Love can be so vile. We all play the fool once in a while. And I can't wait to break your heart. Can't wait to break your heart. How it feels when it falls apart. Oh honey, I can't wait to break your heart. No, can't wait to break your heart. Oh, can't wait to break your heart. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun.
do the mashed banana.
I'm glad we got to share that with everyone about the mashed banana.
I literally had to make that phrase up because in the studio, we totally dissected and reconstructed that song, and no one knew what it
It
was.
did not sound anything like what we just
No. People that are on Patreon have the full history of that song. It went through 3 distinct phases with 3 distinct arrangements and compositional approaches and sets of lyrics. So yeah, you should join Patreon if you want to know how that song came to exist. We dissected it and put it back together in a different order in the studio. So yeah, Joe made a little mnemonic for himself to remember what the part is that he plays on the bass, and it goes mashed banana, baby, mashed banana, baby, mashed banana, baby, mashed banana, baby, mashed banana.
Then do the mashed banana, baby.
Mashed banana, mashed banana, yeah.
You know, it's a song about the mashed banana. You never actually hear the mashed banana.
Yeah.
One important question that a very smart person once asked me was, why not mashed potato? Tell him, Joe.
Why not? Wait. Another punchline.
Where did
to
you
this
get
one.
mashed banana instead of mashed potato?
Doesn't have the same bounce.
Yeah, mashed
a little-
banana.
It's a different vibe.
Mashed
Whole other song if it was mashed potato. Oh, we have some new patrons, Chris, Margot, and James. We hope you gave to the other stuff too, because we really want to write you a musical, especially Margot. Margot's a very musical name. We might write you a musical anyway, Margot.
Margot, sing the Margot. Margot.
Margot.
The real reason that it's not mashed potatoes is because I have another joke song about mashed potatoes already. So,
Mashed potato was already used up as a joke song. All right, so where are we now? Where are we? We're all the way into October? Oh my God. That's right, because we went to LA in September, we made the Love and Rage album, then we drove back across the country. Another thing that happened around that time in my personal life is that my grandfather passed away. Not from COVID, but soon after getting COVID, so sort of from complications of COVID. And so I started a long winter, which included a lot of grief. So I'm calling October more loss, more grieving. I know by October a lot of people were grieving a lot of other people. It was like, it just was sort of exponential at that point, piling and piling and piling. I also just want to mention, for me, it felt like there was a lot of grief in the air and a lot of anxiety in the air. And if you're like a sensitive, soft-hearted, mushy person, which you probably are if you're watching this show, you might have been feeling like the heaviness of other people's grief because it's just kind of floating around with nowhere to land. So I've been feeling a lot of that. I want to do a couple songs about loss and about grieving and about mortality. This one's kind of a fun one, though. It's a fun mortality song, don't worry. Smoke alarm. 1, 2, 3. He said, baby, what's a big deal? Feel what you wanna feel. Say what you wanna say. You're gonna die one day. For example, I could kiss you just because I want to. And what's the difference if you turn away? I'm gonna die one day. Why do you waste your time thinking about your reputation? Trying to meet an expectation, wondering what they're gonna say. When everyone you've ever known is heading for a headstone, I don't wanna give the end away, but we're gonna die one day. Your body is an animal, doesn't ask for much. A little music and a soft touch. Why don't you let it out to play? Your heart is in a bird cage, singing in your chest. You try to shut it up, but give it a rest. You're gonna die one day. Why do we waste our time thinking about an obligation? Running from a confrontation, wondering what we ought to say. When everyone we've ever known is heading for a headstone, I don't want to give the end away, but we're gonna die one day. We're gonna die one day. We're gonna die one day. So baby, what's a big deal? If you wanna be free, say what you wanna feel. Spend the night with me. I'm gonna take you up in my arms. And if we must go down, we'll go singing to the smoke alarms. We'll dance into the ground. That's one of my essential themes is like bops that are about how everyone's gonna die. I love those kind of songs. One of my favorite genre. This one, however, not as much of a bop. Also about loss and grieving. I mean, maybe it's a bop. It's a different kind of bop. I don't want to limit ourselves. Just gonna move some mics around. You guys should tell us about what was going on for you in October and in the fall, generally. What about you guys, Joe and Pat?
I was having a moment where I was a little depressed because we were done with the record and not having as much to do.
Pat, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I think it was just for the last song. I muted the wrong thing when I came back. Say that again.
I said.
There he is. I thought I was
As I
missing
said,
you.
I said that I think I was having a little post-album recording depression in the fall.
Yep.
That's a common thing in the best of times,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And because it was like, do a lot of stuff, drive across the country, go camping. It's crazy. California's on fire.
California's on fire.
Great music is happening.
Oh my God, we raised your rent.
And
Oh!
yay! Woohoo! And then we were home.
Yeah, so lots of excitement. Even though it was crazy shit happening and it wasn't all good. It was like there was lots happening all summer. There was protests and then there was the album and then suddenly we were just home and it was winter.
Yeah. We had our election looming. That was a
Lord.
big one.
Right.
Coming up.
Yeah,
What's
the
gonna
autumn.
happen?
The autumn is when Kars moved from here to her little cabin in the woods out in the Poconos.
That's right.
So I was kind of spreading my gear and technology into this space because it was kind of brand new. As soon as we got back from California, that was the first time it was done, and I could put all my stuff in here. And then I really needed something to do, just like Pat says. And then I went and played a ton of disc golf.
That's right. That was the beginning of the disc golf era.
Yeah.
I was surfing a lot in October too.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
nice.
was a big month for that.
Yeah.
Surfing and disc golf.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, thank you guys for paying rent again.
Yeah.
Thanks for paying their rent.
Thank you.
We
Yeah.
were so excited. Thank you. Yeah. It was a long, dark, cold winter, and we'll get further into that too, because October was just barely beginning.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna do another song about loss, and this one is an older song, and my mom actually requested this. So I'm gonna give you a head start here because we lost my grandpa last fall, and then we lost my grandma last winter, and they both got COVID and then passed away soon after. And so my family has just been doing a lot of grieving, and it's really hard. I'm like, what can I say that's cute about this? It's not cute. It's not cute, grieving. The one thing that I have noticed about it, though, is like I said before, I was carrying around all this generalized grieving where it was like, okay, I guess we're just grieving for 500,000 people that we don't know all the time. And like, how do you even do that? It just feels bad. We just feel sad and anxious a lot. And then when my grandparents both passed in quick succession and my dog, Domino, also passed away in December, it felt like, okay, now I have somebody really specific to be sad about. So in a way it was a relief to be like, okay, I know why I'm crying. It's for a person that I loved, instead of like, I'm crying because I guess everyone's dying. But anyway, here's a song about loss and letting things go from an older album, and my mom had requested this a few rent parties back, and I have found it really nice to be able to play. Water comes in through the walls and trickles down the window pane and warps the wood and pulls your picture down. And as I try to dry it all, I watch the flowers catch the rain. They kiss it once and give it to the ground. There is nothing here to do but watch it go. Holding on has never even made it slow. It's merciless and arbitrary, big and dumb, mean and scary. Still it dodges every punch you throw. change my reasons every time I turn. I've been looking for a fight, and you've been fighting for a frown, and we will try, but we may never learn to love the rain that brings the rust, to love the air that drops the dust, to love the reckless ruin of our plans. I like to think the world is just, so I think the world is just. You know, I think the world is just grand. So may you find a kinder love and leave your reason at the gate and trust it like you can't recall what was. When again you give it up, may your heart so gently break, and may you come to love it as it does. There is nothing here to do but watch it go. Holding on has never even made it slow. It is merciless and arbitrary, big and dumb, mean and scary. Still it dodges every punch you throw. So let it go. Oh. Yeah. Letting it go. Sounds easier than it is. Alright. So, muting. Other guitar. So we're moving on to November. I called this section of the playlist Fuck It, because I don't know how you guys felt, but ramping up to that election, I was about as anxious as I've ever been in my entire life. And then I was kind of surprised to find that my anxiety didn't really subside after the election, and it was not only because the votes were still being counted for like a week, it was also just because I was like, what happened? Like, okay, we have Biden, I guess, but also do we? And like, is there going to be a coup? And then we still didn't know if there was going to be a coup for a really long time, and it was just a time of great anxiety and freaked outedness. I dealt with that mostly by baking and eating. We had an election party where every single person that came to my house for the election party, which was Joe and Pat, our friend Milton's girlfriend, and Joe's wife Grace. So everyone in our pod came to the election party. Every single person baked like a pie and a pan of cookies and like a coffee cake. So we had like, I was in my little cabin looking at the table on election night, and we had like literally 30 different flavors of like flour and sugar and butter combined. So that was basically how we dealt with our anxiety. I'm still recovering from that period of carbo loading. I don't know about you guys. So anyway, I called this Fuck It. We're going to play a couple songs that have cussing in them. That's the new theme. But tell me what you guys were doing in November around the election and also in general. Also, it was like winter was coming on. The days were getting short. It was getting colder. It was just felt like a fresh batch of apocalyptic feelings. So, this is only sort of related. This is called Fat and Happy, and it's a song I wrote for somebody who was mean to me on the internet one time. When I'm fat and happy and high on the hog, will you still be moaning like a three-legged dog? Will you still be lying like a bump on a log? When I'm fat and happy and high on the hog. Na, 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 na. When I'm fat and happy and rich as a roo, will you know of anything better to do? Or will you still be crying 'cause you haven't a clue why I'm fat and happy and rich as a roo? I heard lately you were talking trash. I guess you needed somebody to bash. I say you better go and make amends, 'cause your words cash. I guess you needed somebody to bash. I say I better go and drink your gin, 'cause your words may be bitter when you read them again. When I'm fat and happy and famous as fuck, will you still be honking like a Canada duck? Or will you be crying 'cause you're shit out of luck? When I'm fat and happy and famous as fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, you're right. When I'm fat and happy, when I'm fat and happy, and high on the hog. Yeah. That was actually a great example of what November felt like. So I'm not sad that I messed up that song. It was like, wait, I think I know what this is. No, actually I don't. Okay, yes, we have things. Okay, the Triple Love Raffle! So if you've given to this rent party, thank you. If you've given to any other rent party in the last year, thank you. If you've given to a Patreon, thank you. And if you've given to the Kickstarter, also thank you. If you've given to all three, though, that makes you a very special kind of a person. We would like to write you a musical. So you are automatically entered in the Triple Love Raffle. You don't have to say or do anything. As long as your name on your donation, like on your Venmo account or your PayPal account, as long as that has your name on it and your name's also on the Patreon and it's also on the Kickstarter. We're gonna reference this by name. So if you're like Cat Firth 322 on Patreon, and then you're like Patrick Firth on Venmo, and then you're like Patty Cake Giraffe Man 477 on whatever the other thing is, Kickstarter, then we won't know that it's you. So go check and make sure that your names are the same, and if they're not, send me an email, carsey@carsey.blanton.com, and then we'll know to enter you in the raffle. We're going to announce that on Wednesday, which is the day after the Kickstarter is finished. Some more cussing for our November, our fuck it month. This one is called Vim and Vigor. I know I got a dirty mind. It's in the gutter all the time. I don't believe that it's a crime. I consider it a service. This ain't 1954. Ain't a man's world anymore. So what you wanna take me for? Do I make you nervous? I roll up off Vim and Vigor, chopping at the bit, got my finger on the trigger, pitching a bit, all lipstick and vinegar. Like, baby, do you dare me? Across a blue streak like a drunken doxy. I don't give a fuck if you find it foxy. Do what I like to, 'cause I got moxie. And you don't scare me. You don't scare me. No. Yeah. I know I got a lot of nerve. I ought to get what I deserve. Half a dozen men to serve me. It stands to reason. A couple of them feed me sweets. A couple more to rub my feet. And one or two between my sheets. If I find it pleasing, I roll up by Vim and Vigor, chopping at the bit with my finger on the trigger, pitching a fit, all lipstick and vinegar. Like, baby, do you dare me? Across a blue streak like a drunken doxy. I don't give a fuck if you find me foxy. Do what I want to, 'cause I got moxie. And you don't scare me. out. Yeah, thank you guys. We have a bunch more songs left. I think I'm gonna curtail this a little bit, but we are gonna go over. Thanks for sticking with us. If you have, and if you are. Bonnie says lots of baking for me too. Actually, her name is Bonnie Brogan. You guys remember Brogan?
Brogan.
That's funny, Bonnie, that you're talking about baking and the Great British Baking Show, because we wonder if you know about Zumbo's Just Desserts. Okay, Zumbo's Just Desserts.
Season 1.
Season 1. It's similar to the GBB, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I've rewatched seasons of the Great British Baking Show, but Zumbo's Just Desserts is an Australian show, and on season 1, there's a wonderful baker by the name of Brogan. So we think you should check it out. That's all we're saying.
Brogan.
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 Anyway, cool, Bonnie. Yeah, we're gonna make it one song for these last 3 months, one song each. So now we're into December. Should we do To Be Known or Mercy? What do you guys want?
Let's do Mercy.
Okay, we'll do Mercy. So, December was the darkest month, literally, and for me, figuratively as well. We talked about all of the various darknesses that were swirling around our universes. And December was kind of the bottom of the trough for me. Oh, and I want to mention, speaking of the trough, I'll tell you what makes me feel like we're on the way out of it the most. I've been saving this. It's a surprise. I got my first shot yesterday.
Ooh.
Look, I got my first COVID shot. Oh my God, it's really happening. Woohoo! So it does actually feel like there's light at the end of this tunnel. And spring is also happening. It's warming up. We're planting all kinds of little things in the ground, especially Joe, but all of us. And we're glad that we made it through, and we're glad you came with us. So Mercy, I don't know what it has to do with darkness. Not that much. I just think it's a pretty song. I wrote it for my husband, John. It does talk about how the world is burning down and you still have to love people and stuff. Hold on. Let me get this in the right spot. Oh, it's off. I was like, huh, it's really different sounding now. Wow, this mic sounds so different than it did before when it was turned on.
When it worked.
Funny story. You got a love that keeps me warm, slow rolling like a thunderstorm, low humming like a summer night. You got a love that treats me right, got lucky running into you, half grown at only 22. Back when I was the running kind, you had a love to ease my mind, and the world burns on below. But how sweet the world could be if every heart could know the mercy that you showed me. You got a love that knows the way, slow falling like a snowy day, soft glowing like a winter night. You got a love that shines a light. How crazy after all these years, you still be moving me to tears. So happy just to lie me down beside a love that sticks around. And the world burns on below. But how sweet the world could be if every heart could know the mercy that you showed me. The mercy that you showed me. Casey likes that song. Thanks, Casey. Okay, alright, okay. That was a sweet one. I liked it. We're gonna move on here, though, to January, which, I don't know if you remember, a couple really big things happened in January. One was very bad and one was very good. If you ask me. The very bad one happened, was it January 1st or the 6th? That's right. Yeah, so all these, like, fascists decided to go storm the Capitol and try to, like, kill Nancy Pelosi or whatever. And the thing that was surprising to me was not so much that they did that as the fact that no one stopped them. So I didn't love that. I found that to be pretty disturbing. Luckily, I had a song about it already, so I could sing this and let some of my rage out. This song is called Shitless. And actually, the other thing that happened in January was that Donald Trump finally left office. Hey! So this is also for Trump. This is a song about fascists and why I don't like them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You come in at the top of my shit list, even though you look a little punk rock. You talk real loud, but you're totally witless. Think we had enough of hearing you talk, so your life ain't a dream that you thought it would be. So you cry and you scream like a cat in a tree. Well, you want a medal just for being a white boy. That ain't the way we do it no more. That ain't the way we do it no more. That ain't the way we do it no more. You got away with that shit before. That ain't the way we're gonna do it no more. No! I wish you'd never come out of that foxhole. Thought we were rid of you back in 45. But baby Jesus won't save your soul. He said you better leave your neighbor alive. So it didn't work out how you think you deserve. And the kids on the street really get on your nerves now. You want a medal just for being a white boy. That ain't the way we do it no more. That ain't the way we do it no more. That ain't the way we do it no more. You got away with that shit before, but that ain't the way we're gonna do it no more. No. So you want a white nation?
That ain't the way we do it.
Mass deportation? That ain't the way we do it. Keep the white man rich
That ain't the way we do it.
keep the women in the kitchen. Ha! Well, that ain't the way we do it no more. That ain't the way we do it no more. You got away with that shit before. Well, that ain't the way we're gonna do it no more. That ain't the way we're gonna do it no more. No. Oh. So you say we should go back where we came from, thinking maybe that you should as well. Put your money where your mealy little mouth is and go right back to hell. Yeah! Fuck fascism. Never fuck a fascist. Tell them I said so. Okay, I'm glad. They're talking about the Kickstarter. That song Shitless is on the Kickstarter. Also, if you pledge for the Rage Kit, you get not only the album, but also a t-shirt that says Fuck Fascism and a bumper sticker that says Fuck Fascism. Rage is important, especially when you're dealing with fascists. I'm a big fan of Rage. I'm a big fan of Love as well. I like them both in combo. That's what the whole album's about. Speaking of the whole album, I think we're going to do one more song. That's what's about to happen. Thank you guys very, very, very much for sticking with us, for sending money, for saying comments, for being patrons, for being Kickstarters, for being Rent Party donors, and just for making it through the pandemic. It's been a really long year, and I'm just really proud of us. It could have gone so much worse than it did on a personal level for a lot of us. Like, we could have really just... The whole house of cards could have come down. A lot of people died who didn't have to die, and for that I blame our incompetent government and administration that is now out of the office. But I don't blame us. I think we did a pretty good job. I think we mostly took good care of each other and of ourselves. So I just want to say, if you made it, you're here. We're nearing the end of the pandemic, and I'm proud of you. I think you've done a good job. I hope you will take a day off soon. Have a foot massage, you know? Take a bath. Just like let it all out. All right. Relatedly, this is a song called Buck Up. And it's for everybody who's still out there, and we hope that you will buck up. And sing along if you're at home. Oh, I know one more thing. We actually are booking shows now, like real shows that we're actually going to play. So there's going to be some show announcements soon. And I just want to say that because the way you're going to hear about those shows, if you want to hear about them, is on my mailing list. That is the best place to hear about shows because you'll tell me where you actually live, so I can tell you when I play near you. So if you go to the link tree, there's a spot that says sign up on my mailing list. Please do that. We've actually gotten some kind of cool shows that are coming in, and I'm really excited to announce them over the next couple months. So join the mailing list, and you'll get to hear some cool stuff. Not that any show isn't exciting at this point. At this point, we would play just in the basement of a fucking hardware store.
I'll play here right now.
Me too. On that note, 1, 2, 3. Been lying awake and wondering where it all went wrong. We're running in this human race, but the odds are looking long. So I sat beside my hound dog and I looked into his eyes. I said, what's the use of trying? And to my surprise, he said, buck up, baby, come on, sick 'em. Make 'em laugh if you can't lick 'em. Keep on shining like you know you should. When it gets bad, that's the way we get it good. Ain't it the truth? So I put my shoes on, just kidding, and I walked out in the street. The papers say we're on the way, starting World War III.
Oh, shit.
So I took the hand of my paper man. I said, what we gonna do? And he just started laughing. He said, I got news for you. You better buck up, baby, come on, sick 'em. Make 'em laugh if you can't lick 'em. Keep on shining like you know you should. Keep on shining, that's the way we get it good. La 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 la, yeah. La la la, ooh. Keep on shining like you know you should. Keep on shining, and that'll get 'em good. They got the money and they're never gonna get enough. But honey, we got the love, yeah. And we got friends who come out swinging. We get hit and we go home singing. La la la, like we know we should. We keep on shining, that's the way we get it good. How do we do it? We sing, buck up, baby, come on, sick 'em. Make 'em laugh if you can't lick 'em. Keep on shining like you know you should. Keep on shining, that's the way we get it good. Keep on shining, honey, that'll get 'em good. That's right, everybody, keep on shining. I'm so glad you stayed with us till the end here because we got a very special guest who's going to join us. We love you so much. We're going to play you one more song. It's the most popular song of our whole pandemic year. And who is the guest star? Come on. It's Skunk. Good timing, Grace. Tell him about it, Joe. Tell him.
Skunk is not very big.
He's not.
He's pretty small. No, he's not that big. Not big at all.
Sing it. Sing it at home.
Big at all.
Tell him about it, Skunk.
Skunk is not very big. He's pretty small. No, he's not that big.
doggies and your kitties and your friends. We love you so much. Thanks for making it through this year. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Skunk loves you, and we love Skunk. And goodbye. Mwah.